Hey everybody, this is Tim with Owl Eyes Wilderness Survival. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make rope or cordage out of hollow-stemmed plants like dogbane, milkweed, or stinging nettle. So in this video, I'm going to use dogbane, which to me is very easy to find. It's easy to gather in abundance. I'm in New England and it's all over the place, all over roadsides, and actually along rivers, interestingly enough. So this is what it pretty much looks like here when I gather it. So that will just be sticking out of the ground on the side of the road. There might be a few leaves on it because I gather it in like September, October after it dies away and has gone to seed. And here's what the seed pod looks like right here. It's almost like a, almost like a vanilla bean shape. But then if you bust that open, there's actually all these wind dispersed seeds, just like milkweed seeds. So they're in the same family. So that, and that would be good tinder there too if you want to use it. But there's that. So after all, little dogbane seeds dissipate. So what we're going to do is, if you can do this fresh, but I like to do it, I just gather it dry after it dies away. So first thing, cut it, and then you can store it however. If you need to dry it out, but it's hollow stem, so I'm just going to crush it. All right, I don't feel a need to use a rock or a stick or anything to crush it. These branches, I usually just try to break them and remove them. If you want to spend time on them, you can, but if you gather enough dogbane, then you don't really need to worry about it. But you can already see those fibers coming out there. That's what we're after. So I'll rip that one off, and then at the end, we'll worry about that. So I crush it flat. Sometimes you need to bend it a little bit, but just be a little careful. It's not like you're trying to break a twig. You're just trying to crush it flat. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up. All right? So you can just get your thumb in there, open it up. Now, this isn't really wood, but I'll call it the wood for this video. And then out here is the outer skin, and then the fibers are under that. All right, so we kind of have three things going on. We have like the wood and the pith, the skin, and the fibers. So what we're going to do on the very bottom, we're going to break that towards us. All right, then I get my index finger on top and kind of tease it out. All right, and I keep it all. Usually it's interesting, milkweed and dogbane especially, they'll break into 4 pieces, all right? Usually. So I break that off, and that's what you want right there, okay? So that I just pulled off straight, but now I'll go in like 2 or 3 inch segments. I'll pull it off, I'll go about 2/3 of the way, then I'm actually gonna grab down here and then come up and go backwards. And you can see all these fibers that are sticking out are fibers that would have been taken away if I just pulled it in one direction. So I'm not gonna do that, I'm gonna go one way, then the other way, just so I can get all of the fibers. All right, so pull that off. And this can go pretty quick once you get good at it. Sometimes you just have little scraps, so you just got to pick off one by one. When you get to these, they can be a little difficult, the branches sticking out. So sometimes you just gotta kind of work that out and just pull it off and do the best you can. All right, I like to stay organized. All right, don't do anything in a big mess. When I teach students, sometimes I'll notice that people kind of get everything all crazy and then they'll have wood all over the place, but you want this nice long, straight strand of fibers there. So break that off. And then when I start to get to the end, I just kind of like don't worry about up here. We're already gathering the plant after it's died and gone to seed, so it's going to kind of decompose as it is. So I'm not too concerned about, using 100% all of it. But when I get up here, what I'm going to do is just pull it off, and then this is pretty much just going to break off, and I'll show you that once I can get my hand under here, fingernail under there. There we go. Sometimes you just kind of have to get in there and tease things up. So I grab here and then just pull it off. And then whatever comes off, because you can spend time doing that if you want. Sometimes if I make fishing line, I'll use this really thin branches. And that's that. So I go through. There's one little branch right here I want to get rid of. There we go. So then what I first do is I twist it in my fingers like this. And then I'll rub it in my hands. Sometimes you can give yourself a little spray of spit, and that helps to just improve grip a little bit and get all the skin off. I feel like you're never going to get 100% of the skin off. I never really have, but you notice on my hand there, some of it's coming off. Some strands, it's easier than others. Oops. Some strands it's easier than others, but this one, the skin seems like it's staying on. It really doesn't matter. It just, I feel like it makes a higher quality cord after I already twist it up. But so just rub it and do that. Don't ball it up. All right, don't just put it there and then ball it up. You want to keep that long strand, okay? So then what I do is I'll store this somewhere. You know, if I'm sitting down, I have a long time, I'll lay everything out. So right here, this is about, you know, I don't know, 8 to 10 plants that we just did here before the video. So that's all ready to go. So what I'm going to do now is if I want to make rope, and if you guys see, this bracelet here is dogbane cordage. So that's pretty much what we're going to make there. This video will make a little necklace. We'll show you how the whole process on that. But so the way I'm going to start this, if I just wanted to make a little strand of rope to practice, you can line the two ends up. But I'm going to splice. I'm going to add more. I'm going to add all of these together, and I'm going to add more. So what I want is I never want to add more fibers in the same spot. So I'm actually going to stagger it. I'm going to make it so that the ends are lined up a little bit differently. They're off each other, not lined up together. So the easy way to do this is to just fold it in half and turn it sideways. All right. So starting out, there's no problem with that. The more high quality way, I guess I should say, or I noticed that with beginners, it's kind of a little hard, but I'll twist. I'm righty, so I'm going to do this righty, but you can do this lefty, and if you want to make 4-ply cordage, you have to learn it righty and lefty. That'll all make sense later on, but I'm going to twist my right hand, all right, until it kinks over itself, until it loops. So that way I have that twist already started out, all right? So I'm going to pinch that right there, and I'm going to hold it so that there's a top and that there's a bottom, okay? You can do this up and down, but in this I'm going to show you the top and bottom method. And I have a little saying as we make this, it's top, twist, bottom, back, pinch. So I'm going to grab the top, I'm going to twist it forward, I'm going to grab the bottom, I'm going to roll it back, and then I'm going to pinch where they intersect. All right, so I grab the top, twist it forward, grab the bottom, bring it back, and pinch. Top, twist, bottom, back, pinch. Top, twist, bottom, back, pinch, okay? Grab the top. Now, there's the easy and the hard way, right? So grab the top, and then you just roll your hand forward. That's the easy way, right? Roll your hand forward. And notice how I get my index finger nail right up against that bottom strand so that I can trap it with my middle finger and then bring my hand back. All right? Top, twist, bottom, back, pinch, okay? The more hard way to do this, and that creates a tighter cord, is if you grab the top, and as you roll your hand forward, you also do this with your fingers so that the rope, the fibers just get a little bit more tight. You just get a couple more wraps with that as you bring it forward, and I feel like that makes a lot stronger of a cordage. So once you get the hang of the overall method, you can see there it's twisting. So what I'm doing here actually is it's called reverse wrapping. So I'm twisting both strands one direction, but I'm twisting them together the opposite direction. What this does is it actually makes it 2.4 times stronger. So if I lay these out, obviously it's, you know, let's just say that can support 1 pound, that can support 2 pounds, this can support 2.5 pounds almost. So that's pretty cool. So, and you'll notice it too, it doesn't even unravel. All right, so you can leave it there. So again, just to show you kind of real time here. Okay, top twist, bottom back pinch, top twist, bottom back pinch, top twist, bottom back pinch. Okay, that's just the way I remember it. Okay, and then don't worry about these little scragglies hanging out. All right, later on you can either snip those off or take a lighter and pass it under, or just pass it over a flame, wherever you want to do. Now, when I have this much left, I splice. All right, because I want to add more, because I really can't do much with that, right? So obviously I'd try to find tons of these dogbane plants if I was trying to tie up a shelter or something like that. make a rope to tie something up. So what I'm going to do, it's actually very simple. There's two ways that we can splice. I like to take it and just overlap it, and I even leave a little bit of tag end, and I can just snip that off at the end, but I grab it, and then I just give it a little twist, and I'm always twisting it in the direction that it's going to go anyway. And then I just treat it as normal. Very easy. So just put it in, pinch on it, give it a little twist, and then just treat it as normal, all right? Now the challenge is making sure that this all stays about the same thickness. So as it gets thinner, you just have to add a few more fibers, and sometimes you might splice in, you know, a little, like one section of fibers. So that's why I always try to have a whole bunch nearby, lay a bunch out, because you might just need to add a little bit just to give it a little bit of thickness. So then just keep going. So again, top, twist, bottom, back, pinch. All right, so top, twist, bottom, back, pinch. Grab the top, twist it forward, grab the bottom, pull it back and pinch, okay? I pinch the top, index and middle finger, roll it forward. My index finger goes in between both of those, all right? Both strands. Then I just put my middle finger there and trap it, and then roll my hand back to intersect those, and I pinch where they intersect. Top, twist, bottom, back, pinch. And then we'll just keep going. And the good thing about this is once you learn it, it might be a little bit of a learning curve, but once you learn it, you can just sit down and take a class, watch TV, or whatever you want to do. So what I noticed there is it actually got a little too thin right there. So I unraveled it, and if it gets too thin, what happens is the thin one's going to wrap around the thicker one. So I'm going to add a few more fibers here. Get those all set up. So again, just to show you, this is the way I like to splice, right? Overlap it, but there's another way too where you can put it this way and kind of make a V and then do it like that, so you're actually splicing in a little bit each time, but I like to just overlap it like that. Pinch it, give it a little spin just to kind of naturalize the two pieces together, fit them together right, and then just treat it as normal. So we have like a pretty good length here for a necklace, so that's good. So it looks all crazy right now from all the splicing, but I might just do a couple more wraps. I could keep going, so I'm gonna end it here, but just, you know, keep splicing in, keep going. But all I do is I make an overhand knot at the end. So take that, make a loop, bring it through the loop, and then just tighten it up. That's an overhand knot. So I do that. Crank down on it, take your knife, slice that off. I can save this for later and make more cord. Then I take my knife, and what I'll do is I'll go through here and I will cut off all the tag ends right up against the rope. All the long ones, and then I'm going to take a flame and pass it under. And you can see how that's a pretty good cord there. I'll take a flame over it, get all that off, but you can also wax it up. I'm going to do this all off camera, but just to show you this one spot. Then I'll take my lighter and just pass it under. You're not going to burn the main thread just because it's so thick. As long as you're going fast there, things like that you can pull off. Just pass it over. Do the best you can. There's obviously going to be things left over, but so that's that. So now I'm going to take that. I'll rub some wax into it as well, some beeswax, just to strengthen it up. But there's your cord there. So I'm going to finish this all, and then we'll make a necklace. Awesome. So there is a finished dogbane cord. Obviously, you can go longer with that, shorter with that, for whatever you need it for. So with this one, I'm going to make a necklace out of it. So what I'm going to do is take that, fold it in half, and I have this cool little stone, little face pendant that I made yesterday, actually. So I'm going to stick that through, and then just do a little loop. Now the cool thing about the reverse wrap 2-ply cordage that you make, even if you go more, like 4-ply, you already have a loop at the end. That very first loop we made, you can unravel that a little bit and then stick that knot right through, and there's yours. So it's an easy way to take it on and off. So you could just do that, and then I kind of twist that back up on itself, and there's your awesome, I gotta clean this up a little bit more, but cool little dogbane beach necklace. So this is the reverse wrap 2-ply cordage method. If you wanted to make it 4-ply, all you would do is go backwards. So your right hand is pinching, and you would go left hand is doing all the top twist, bottom back pinch. But there we go. Hopefully that taught you something, and thanks for watching. Get out there.